Church of Aliens. On this episode, I want to explore a little bit about abductions, um, or being taken, um, and how in the Bible it also describes things like being raptured. And I think they're connected in some way. I'm not exactly sure how, but um, I thought it was a very interesting connection. And I'd first like to talk about, I don't know if you guys have listened to Jim Semivan's interviews on aliens and artists. It was really, really good interview. He gives a lot of details about his experiences, his beliefs, just what he thinks about the whole phenomenon and what's going on and how to talk about this to the rest of the world. And he did describe an event that was pretty mind blowing for me. How in the middle of the night, there seems to be these figures at the foot of his bed, and he wakes up and he says they almost look like children that had smiles on their faces. And it didn't seem like they did anything or told him anything. And then there was another hooded figure that came, and he said that they look like dementors. So basically, a black hood with no face. He'd said it wasn't evil. Like, he didn't feel like it was evil. He said he wasn't afraid at all. And I don't think there was much said. I think he just saw this. And the only thing that did happen was that they seemed to have some physiological effects after this encounter. He did say that implants or certain objects were removed from his wife's face, which was pretty crazy. And yeah, he didn't really say too much. Like, it wasn't like a huge revelation or anything that he received from this. He just said that even to this day, he still remains quite angry about it because he didn't understand it. He doesn't even understand what was the point of it. He just had an encounter with something. He did mention that it was that night that one of his friends died. I don't know if that has something to do with it. But yeah, it was really interesting to hear his story. I mean, even he went on to say that he, in a sense, believes in soul guides and maybe even past lives. And in the past, he mentioned that him and his wife were living in a house, and that was filled with poltergeist activity, like footsteps and things moving around the house. Which, in my mind, like that would mean like in the movies, like paranormal activity, like something demonic or something. But he said that it became part of the family, and he wasn't afraid of it. So that's quite strange to me. How you could not be afraid of that? But maybe he's just like, I don't know. He's just more mature and knows what it is, has some more information on what these things are. It's not just, he doesn't just jump to it's evil and it's from the devil or Satan or something bad. He's probably views it as something completely different, which reflects what he says about it, that we really don't have the language to address this. The government doesn't have it, and religion doesn't either. So, yeah, how do you explain this? But anyways, it was interesting to me how the reason why these things happen, like being taken or abducted, and why they happen usually at nighttime when you're asleep or about to go to sleep. And it kind of reminded me how in the TV series Westworld, whenever the sort of the artificial intelligence or the androids that uh, needed to be updated or taken care of, they would immediately fall like they were sleeping, and there would be these sort of people with um, protective gear carrying them out and working on them. And some of these, um, some of these artificial intelligence would wake up and see this this very strange room, and it'll be people working on their bodies and throwing them away and taking parts off and talking about things that they didn't know, and everything looks so foreign to them. I kind of thought that would be an interesting take if that was something that was happening, where uh, in order for some human beings to progress or to develop or to uh, to sort of go forward in their lives, to have wisdom, they need to have some sort of encounter like this, where either these beings are, in a sense, creating a space for you to grow and to change, and to for your expectations about life and what is real to be shattered, for you to build up again and have different beliefs, treat people differently, and um, think differently about life and what is possible. Um, it could be this something like that, um, because it does affect people for the rest of their lives. These types of experiences, um, and something that was also interesting to me was in Tom DeLonge's book Secret Machines. Um, there is a character there that, in a sense, gets abducted in quotations, but really, when she wakes up in this room, the gray alien that she sees has a zipper, and she fights it and removes it, and it's like an android robot. And I thought that was really interesting, because so the implication there is that, well, not the implication, like directly saying that, some of these abductions or people being taken, could be from the military doing an exercise or a psychological operation. Um, to what extent, I don't know. Like, it would be to manipulate people to see what type of to to test certain psychological things on people. But it was kind of interesting, because I also heard a quote from Tom saying that some things in Skinwalker Ranch, or even like cattle mutilations, uh, you know, he said that sometimes you would just see like a mask being left behind, or some military boot or something, and you should get the implication the way it's not exactly everything an alien or an ET or some spiritual thing. That could be also that there are non-governmental agencies doing something with the public. For what reason, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it would be even to test certain ideas on people, how they react, and how things spread uh, from human to human. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, and also, in the Bible, there's lots of mentions of being raptured. Um, which I think what I've read is like, it's got to do with an ecstatic sort of feeling and being taken. Um, so it'll be kind of interesting if, even if the writers of the Bible were mentioning something like this, where uh, something sort of very strange, something out of the normal happens to you, and you are taken somewhere else. I know that Paul mentions that he was taken to the third and fourth heaven, the certain levels that he was talking about. Um, but there are also places where even uh, certain disciples and teachers were uh, moved through space to a different location, um, and in a sense, like being looked after by angelic beings. which is quite interesting. So in a sense, like that whole being taken and moved from one place to another is for your good or for good for mankind. It's to help you. But I don't think that most cases that I see of abductions are really like that. Like, it could be very positive, it could be quite negative, and it could be just, neutral. Like you don't really know how to process it. Like Jim Semivan's one, it didn't seem like there was anything really to learn from it that much. It was just like an experience that he saw. Um, but I do think having an experience like that would sort of shatter what you think is real, what you think is possible, and what life is about. I mean, if certain beings showed up in my room and just didn't say anything, just looked at me, and then I had some sort of physical ailments or something, that would be quite strange to me. Um, yeah, I wouldn't know how I would handle that. Even if I went to church or my pastor, I think they would just think that it's demonic and something, you need like a prayer chain or I don't know what else. But I don't think there is much Christian language for this, um, other than yeah, it could have been Satan trying to fool you. But because I don't think if it's not positive or doesn't reflect things about God or the kingdom of God, it wouldn't really be angelic. So it's hard to put into that puzzle what these abductions and being taken really mean, what they are. Um, but apart from that, I mean, I recommend everyone to listen to that Jim Semivan interview. He did mention um, a book that he liked. I think it's called Journey of the Souls. I was reading some of it a few days ago. It's been pretty wild stuff. I mean, talking about how people have out of body experiences when they die and what they see and what they experience and the different worlds and even some channeling type of stuff, which is quite weird. So it surprises me that someone so high up in the CIA would be interested in these things. But maybe not. Maybe he, uh, in his field of what he works, this is something that sort of makes sense for him. Um, but I found it very interesting. I would love to talk to people who had these sorts of similar stories of being taken or abductions. But it's hard also just to tell if it's actually true or not. I mean, there's no way to verify that exactly. Um, some probably do. You can set up cameras or something, or I don't know how you could do it, but yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of bullshit stories out there of being taken and abducted. But yeah, I'd love to talk to people who had these type of stories um, to learn something from it. But yeah, I hope you guys like this episode. Let me know what you think about abductions or being taken or being raptured. And I'll see you next time.